All right, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for coming. I'm Mark Aaron, Clarion County's District Attorney. This afternoon, we're going to talk about a very serious issue and an investigation which has come to fruition here in Clarion County. Seated with me to my immediate left is Assistant District Attorney Drew Welsh and Clarion Borough Police Chief William Peck to my right, who is also the head county detective of Clarion's CNEC, the Clarion Narcotics Enforcement Team, and also Sergeant Bauer of the Pennsylvania State Police Clarion Barracks. Fentanyl is the plague of a generation. Since I became district attorney in the year 2000, law enforcement has faced many challenges. First, the aftermath of Columbine, 9/11, identity theft, cybercrime, among others. But never has there been a more direct, lethal threat to the welfare of rural communities in general and Clarion County in particular than the sale of fentanyl, because fentanyl is death, plain and simple. It is sold to our young people with no regard for the deaths that are virtually certain to occur. Sometimes it is sold from one addict to another to feed their addiction. However, at the higher levels, as we reached in this case, there is always the simple, despicable motive of selling death for profit. The only way rural law enforcement can address this plague is by all law enforcement agencies working together. The law enforcement professionals involved in this case are the finest example of the fact that law enforcement gets it. They see fentanyl killing our young people, and all the old archaic turf wars and jurisdictional squabbles have gone by the wayside because no one knows better than the men and women of law enforcement that fentanyl is killing a generation. Please bear with me as the list of cooperating agencies in this investigation is quite lengthy. All of these following agencies have participated significantly and were instrumental in bringing this investigation to a conclusion. The district attorney's offices in Jefferson, Elk, and Allegheny counties in Pennsylvania. The lead agency was the Clarion Borough Police Department, led by Chief Peck, who is also the chief county detective in charge of CNET, Clarion County's Narcotics Enforcement Team. Several units of the Pennsylvania State Police, including the Troop C Vice Unit, the Clarion Barracks, led by Sergeant Bauer, who is with us today, the Ridgeway Barracks of the State Police, the State Police Special Emergency Response Team, or CERT Team, State Police K-9 Unit, also from Allegheny County, the Monroeville Police Department, including their Detectives Unit and Patrol Unit, and we very much appreciate the help of Detective Sergeant William Crut of the Monroeville Police Department. Also in Allegheny County, the Allegheny County Adult Probation Department and the Swissville Borough K-9 Unit. From Elk County, the City of St. Mary's Police Department, the Ridgeway Borough Police Department, and the Elk County Detective Greg McManus, who is also in charge of the Elk County Drug Task Force. The Clarion County Adult Probation Office and Clarion County Detectives Roger Wright and Frank Wolbert. Keep in mind that under our Constitution and laws, all defendants are presumed innocent, and my office will do everything in its power to ensure that the rights of all defendants and victims are protected. To discuss more of the specifics of the crimes charged, we'll refer to Assistant District Attorney Drew Welsh.
All right. Thank you, Mark. There's handouts available that list the charges in each of the cases for every criminal defendant here. That feel free to pick one up on your way out to have the information there. The purpose of these criminal charges is to stop the spread of deadly fentanyl into Clarion County and northwestern Pennsylvania. Through the outstanding work of the law enforcement agencies listed by District Attorney Aaron, we were able to uncover and stop an alleged organization whose purpose was to profit from the destruction of countless lives and cause the death of at least one Clarion County citizen. As outlined in the criminal allegations, the investigation revealed that fentanyl and heroin were being packaged and distributed by Aaron Johnson of Monroeville, Pennsylvania. The investigation then led to William Fornes of Elk County, along with his wife Casey Fornes. They are charged with developing a network with Johnson to bring his fentanyl and heroin to northwestern Pennsylvania. Fornes would direct Ryan Glexer, Joseph Hoffman, and Spencer Rudolph to travel to the Pittsburgh area and transport these deadly narcotics to our area. Hoffman and Rudolph would eventually sell the fentanyl and heroin across northwestern Pennsylvania. For example, the fentanyl that killed a young Clarion County man last November allegedly traveled from Allegheny County and eventually arrived in Clarion County after making stops and drug transactions in Elk and Jefferson County. The effort put forth by law enforcement has been nothing short of tremendous in this case. The toxicology results from the young man who lost his life in November was completed on January 28th of 2019. That was the first indication any law enforcement had that this individual had died as a result of a fentanyl overdose. In the month and a half since that discovery, law enforcement has used nearly every tool they could to identify the source of these deadly drugs, stop it, and hold those accountable for dealing this poison. This has included numerous interviews spanning multiple counties, search warrants being obtained for vehicles, homes, cell phones, wire money transfers. Multiple agencies have conducted personal surveillance on suspects, including patrol troopers, undercover police officers. For one example, recently the district attorney's office had requested the county purchase a specialized computer program allowing county detectives to quickly and effectively search and obtain evidence from seized cell phones. The request was made for cases just like this, and the county purchased and provided that equipment that has been used. Without this specialized program, any seized phones would have to be sent to a separate crime lab, and the results could take weeks or months due to the large volumes of requests that the crime lab receives from around the state. CNET was able to access cell phones and retrieve invaluable evidence quickly in this case. This allowed for law enforcement to move swiftly and decisively and make a stronger case for prosecution in this case. All told, in the last 6 months, law enforcement believes that over $150,000 worth of deadly fentanyl and heroin has flowed through this network from the Pittsburgh area to Clarion County and the surrounding areas alone. As a result of this investigation, law enforcement has seized a significant amount of drug money, and over $50,000 worth of narcotics have been taken off of the street. This organization is closed for business. Everyone in our community has been affected in some way by the current opioid epidemic. It goes beyond TV and news reports, and it hits home. Everyone at this table knows that these arrests are not going to put an end to drug abuse or drug overdoses, and they will not replace what's been lost by so many families in our community. What these arrests do show is the District Attorney's Office, Clarion Police, the Pennsylvania State Police, CNET, and all of those cooperating agencies will not sit by and watch people in our community die and do nothing about it. We are committed to shutting down these organizations, and we are dedicated to stopping the spread of deadly fentanyl in our area. Thank you.
Thank you, ADA Welsh. Again, I would like to thank all law enforcement agencies that participated in this investigation. We're acutely aware that one operation such as this does not cure the drug problem. We just had 12 overdose deaths in Clarion County last year, and this case addresses just one of those. Those matters continue to be investigated, and law enforcement is well aware that all assets must be brought to bear on this epidemic. But this issue is not a singularly law enforcement problem. As has been said many times, we cannot arrest our way out of this problem. It must be a community-wide effort involving schools, churches, coaches, treatment professionals, legislators, and most of all, parents, to stop this plague of our community. Thank you. And at this time, if there are any questions, we'll try to answer them as best we can, knowing that there is still a pending investigation in this matter and the investigation is ongoing. So, with that in mind. Ron.
I've read where the fentanyl is actually being laced with the heroin. Is it possible people were taking this and not knowing they have fentanyl in it?
Well, as I think Officer Peck can verify from the things that he sees, as you see in the picture that is available from this raid, these are not made in a pharmaceutical lab with any type of quality control. And with the strength of fentanyl, all it takes is a little bit of mismeasurement or not being mixed properly, and the potency of the opioids that are in the what these people are taking will rise to the fatal level. It's very easy to happen.
One follow-up, why would they be using fentanyl with heroin?
Simple profit. If you have X amount of heroin, you add an amount of fentanyl to it, you can then cut that, because the fentanyl is so powerful, you can then cut that into what was, say, 1 gram of heroin. You can now cut it into 5, 6, maybe more. Pure profit motive.
Thank you.
Are all the defendants jailed in Clarion County, or where are they being held?
All are in Clarion County right now. I believe we have
There's one, I believe, is in the Elk County Jail.
one in
the
Elk.
Elk County Prison.
Then just to follow up, fentanyl is not something like meth that they can make themselves. It has to come from a source. Any lead on this source?
Well, that's the source of the fentanyl itself is probably more of a statewide and or national issue. I know there's things in the national news about it being imported from China, coming over the southern border as we see it. No, but there are no local fentanyl manufacturing operations that I'm aware of.
If your question is specifically related to this case, if we have information on where the next level would be, I think that we shouldn't comment on that.
Exactly.
Was the fellow in Monroeville, was he arrested?
Yes. He's in the Clarion County Jail.
Oh, okay.
And that was possible through the cooperation of the District Attorney's Office in Allegheny County and also Jefferson County. As you can see, this is a multi-county organization, and under the Pennsylvania law and the rules of criminal procedure, district attorney's offices are empowered to work together in multi-county investigations, and those two DA's offices have basically consented to all relevant charges being filed here in Clarion County.
So they all will be tried in Clarion County?
Yes.
And the death you referred to, that was definitely a fentanyl-related death?
Yes, that was shown by the toxicology.
Okay.
And that's one issue that, you know, in the grand scheme of things, as far as drug investigations go, I mean, something that may need to be addressed as to how fast we get the toxicology results back, to think about allocating more resources. Generally, it takes weeks for us to get those toxicology results back.
Was that toxicology report through the PSPA crime lab, or was that?
It's not, it's a private lab that the
Private
state
lab.
utilizes.
Oh.
Any other questions?
Is there a total amount of fentanyl-related cases currently taking place? Or do you have some kind of stat? Or
We would have those stats back at the office. I can give you those later if you'd like.
Okay, all right.
Any other questions?
Chief, Sergeant, do you have anything you wanted to?
I want to reiterate the comments that District Attorney Aaron and Assistant District Attorney Welch made, that this was a total team effort. He listed all the agencies involved, but I do want to give special recognition to Chief Peck and Trooper Craddock of the Vice team. There was numerous hours, days and weeks spent on this investigation, and both those gentlemen should be commended for the effort that they put forth. Again, it was a total team effort, but these two guys did an impeccable job, and we owe them a gratitude for this investigation. Thank you.
Did this investigation begin with the death, or was it ongoing before the death?
To my understanding, it started with the death here in Clarion Borough.
Yes.
And can I get your first name, please?
Scott.
Thank you.
Anything you'd like to add?
Yes, I do.
Chief Peck.
We're here for
unfortunate circumstance, the death of one of our residents. As the chief of police of Clarion, I'm proud of the Clarion Borough Police Department for their determination and dedication to bring this day forward. I'd like to thank Jay Carley of the probation office. He's the one that provided information to our police department that the gentleman, Mr. Rudolph, was selling drugs in Shippenville. We were able to link that information to the victim in this case. And when we got that information, that's what started this investigation. And then we involved the state police. There was numerous investigations that we were able to link together involving the state police. Basically, Trooper Craddock, with the allowance of the state police in the last month, was pretty much a Clarion Borough police officer. For the last month, we worked daily with him, and they let him team up, and without his help, we might not be here today. I'd like to thank the mayor of Clarion and the council members on the Public Safety Committee. They were briefed briefly about the situation. They allowed our department to fully investigate this. We went numerous locations in the Elk, Allegheny. We spent days, if not weeks, outside of our normal jurisdiction. And without their cooperation, this day would not happen either. So I thank them too. That's all I have.
Thank you, Bill. Very true. Clarion Borough was more than cooperative. We couldn't have asked for more. And they're allowing Bill and his people to basically run this case to ground. Any other questions? All right, if there's no further questions, we will wrap this.